You know those games that are decided within the first 6 or 7 minutes and turn into one-sided sweeps? This one is not one of those. It's going to go all the way down to the wire. Hello, I am Xarkun, and this is World of Warships Legends. In today's battle, a domination mode game on Estuary, the game is going to be decided by one single point right at the end. So strap yourselves in because it's going to be a ride. We're in the USS Alabama, Tier 7 Premium American Battleship and the original Global XP ship in this game. Still available in the store for 750,000 Global XP, and it is a good buy. It's much like the USS Massachusetts, which was a campaign reward ship some time ago. Essentially, the Massachusetts and Alabama are the same class of battleship, and there's really not much of a difference between the two in the game, aside from the fact that the Massachusetts has long-range secondary guns. The Alabama does not. Nevertheless, it's still worthwhile to play. It is quite effective and quite a maneuverable battleship, which I like a lot. Anyway, what are we doing as we get into the game? We're coming over here to the eastern flank of the map, along with the friendly Akatsuki, playing the Alpha Cap. Outside of it, of course, near the islands, we're using them as concealment and cover. Excuse any jingly noises you might hear in the background. My cat is playing with his toys because he's bored. Anyway, we did hit that Vanguard for a Citadel there, and we're going to follow up with another shot as soon as our guns reload. We do keep getting spotted. There is a destroyer in the Alpha Cap, and I must say I like what the friendly Akatsuki is doing, which is not immediately rushing into the cap. IJN destroyers are good at taking caps due to their incredible stealth, but at the same time they're pretty bad for contesting caps because they are sort of one-trick ponies. It's the torpedoes that are the bread and butter of those destroyers, not the guns. And unfortunately for our friendly Akatsuki, it's a Benson that's in the Alpha Cap. So I'm glad he didn't rush it because the Benson would be able to make short work of him. Speaking of which, the Benson appears momentarily behind this island, 5 kilometers away from us, so we know where he is. We're certainly not going to turn left into the cap circle. We're going to continue to go around this island, taking some high explosive spam from a Cleveland we can't see, which is annoying, but we managed to go dark. And this is what I was talking about in the previous video on the Gross Occur First. Islands are your friend in any class of ships. You can use them not only in cruisers, which is the class of ship that most people tend to use them in, but also in battleships. Look how close we can play to this cap while still being effective. Meanwhile, if you look behind us, there is a friendly battleship reversing all the way to the map border for no reason whatsoever. That Benson there, he's popped out, coming very close to us, allowing himself to get spotted. Bit of a mistake on his part, and frankly, I'm frustrated that we weren't able to punish him a lot harder for his transgressions. Obviously, he's trying to torpedo us, so we are already sailing away as he smokes up, seeing if we can't get one last parting shot on him, but we can't. He's charging toward one of our teammate battleships in a suicide torp maneuver, even though he's launched all of his torpedoes at us already. So he's not long for this world. And we manage to avoid all of them. One of them, it looks like it scrapes the paint, so a little bit nerve-wracking there, but we came out okay. Now this cap is clear, but there's still a problem. The Akatsuki on our team really cannot get inside of it because there's still a Cleveland sailing around on the perimeter. That friendly battleship that is now directly in front of us has reversed all the way to the island, or the mountain formation in the southeastern corner of the map, which is very, very annoying. You really should not be reversing all the way to the back of the map in any battleship. That is not the way to disengage. The way to disengage is to point your bow in the direction you want to go and maneuver to get all of your guns on target whenever possible. Reversing to disengage is a last resort, not a first one. And I really wish this battleship was up closer because he might be able to more effectively help me deal with the Cleveland. But at least somebody is. The Cleveland takes a big chunk. We're going to try to see if we can finish him off. But I think we lead the shot a little too much. Actually, no, it looks like it's right on target. It's just unfortunate that RNG allows only one shell to penetrate. We're also taking fire from a New Orleans out there, 15 kilometers away from us, and right now what we want to do is take out both of these cruisers, the Cleveland and the New Orleans, to give our friendly Akatsuki a chance to enter the Alpha Cap. He's been exercising an incredible amount of patience, still hanging around this cap. He has not disengaged. He is trying to spot these cruisers for us, I believe, so that we can assist him in taking them out. So now a shot on the New Orleans as the Cleveland sails out of range. RNG is not great. We only tag him for 4,700 there, I think. Keeping an eye on the ships in front of us, there is an Odin hanging out by the island over there, who is not so much of a threat to me. At least I don't regard him as much of a threat unless he wants to get close and use his torpedoes. So it's the New Orleans I'm focused on. We can see, judging by the torpedoes coming at the cruiser, that the Akatsuki would also like this guy to go down, and we're going to try to help him out. We do score a citadel there with the front 2 turrets, but the 3rd turret launches a volley that brackets the New Orleans and does not take him down. A little bit frustrating, but soon we will be able to reload the guns and hopefully finish him off with one last salvo, allowing us to focus on other parts of the map now. Notice that the cap advantage goes to the enemy. They hold 2 caps. The other destroyer on our team is contesting the 3rd on the other side of the map. Looks like he might be in a fight with the other enemy destroyer, but we take down the New Orleans for our first kill of the game with one last citadel strike on him. Taking a lot of fire from battleships out here. We are not going to turn in and charge in that direction. Again, there is an Odin there, and we don't want to get close to him. Instead, we're going to turn to sort of disengage a little bit. But now, this Cleveland is so far away from the cap that our friendly Akatsuki should have a good shot at taking the cap for our team. Finally, after so many minutes in the game have passed. Once more, that battleship is on the border of the map. He started to move forward. He has essentially been in a position where he is of no help to our team for this entire time. And we've had, I think, a cruiser and another battleship hanging around in the Charlie cap, who, to be fair, I think they assisted somewhat. I think it was one of them that got that big blow on the Cleveland earlier, but also they're not in a great position to help us. And I've screwed up. I've beached myself broadside to a Vanguard, but the Vanguard, I don't think he was paying attention. He's broadside to me. 41k there. And he gets finished off with the help of the Tirpitz, who I believe is in that Charlie cap. So good on the Tirpitz for finishing off that kill. It's not about getting the kills here. It's about, securing them. So it doesn't really matter if I got the kill or the Tirpitz did. At least the Vanguard is gone. And that has brought the points into a little bit more of a manageable situation. We're only down by about 30 points, and the destroyer is in alpha. This Odin is doing everything he can to stop our destroyer teammate from capping, and we really need to take down this Odin. Looks like he's rushing the Akatsuki. He's got the high explosive loaded, and of course the Odin does have hydroacoustic search, which I believe can detect destroyers at longer ranges. So the Akatsuki is wisely disengaging. He's not sitting inside of the smoke screen waiting to die, which is fantastic. A lot of destroyers would do that. We're able to get a hefty hit on the Odin there for 11k and take out one of his guns. Hopefully now at this point his attention is going to be directed toward us, and the Akatsuki, I believe, has escaped from imminent death. But we are getting pretty low on health right now. We're in will to rebuild range. A friendly battleship has pushed up right next to us, and momentarily we go dark, which is just long enough for us to take out the Odin as our second kill of the game. We're up to 124,000 damage done, but we're still behind on points, even though we are ahead on ships. I'm pinging the Akatsuki to please now capture the Alpha Cap, as he's been trying to do this entire game. Finally, it is completely 100% clear, and he will be able to cap it. And we're going to do everything we can to support. Notice, though, that there is a cruiser in the center of the map, north of Charlie. That is an Indianapolis. Meanwhile, there are 2 battleships in the enemy's spawn cap, which is Bravo, Tirpitz, and I believe a Massachusetts. Going to try to get some shots on the Tirpitz, but nobody has a consistent line of sight on him. I'm kind of getting worried about what this Indianapolis is going to do. He's going to come between the gap there, between Bravo and Charlie, and I hope he's not going to expose himself to fire from the Tirpitz. But in hindsight, I wish he had stayed inside of that cap. In fact, I don't know why he didn't, because the last 3 remaining large ships, the Cleveland, the Massachusetts, and the Tirpitz, are all concentrated together near the Bravo cap. But the last known position of the final enemy destroyer was at Delta, which means that destroyer is going to sail east toward Charlie. Or at least, if you were looking at the map, that is what you could logically predict. And in fact, that is exactly what's going to happen. The Charlie cap is beginning to turn red now that the Indianapolis has vacated it, and I really wish he would go back there and deal with that destroyer. The Indianapolis is, of course, a radar cruiser. I'm pinging furiously for him to get back there. We really need to hold on to that Charlie cap, because even though now we have taken Alpha, it's not going to be enough. The enemy is still going to have a 3-cap advantage, and at this point, they're ahead of us by more than 100 points, so we're going to have to sink somebody really quickly to bring the score closer. That Tirpitz, prime candidate. Our team finishes him off after I get a nasty hit on his broadside. So that brings the points up to a more respectable level, but the enemy is still ahead. And if they take that Charlie cap, things aren't going to be good. We're going to be forced to kill all of them in order to win. We've got less than 3 minutes to go. And frankly, we're not in a good position to kill all of these guys. All of our battleships are in the same place. That I think it was this Massachusetts right in front of me that reversed all the way to the map border and now has decided he wants to play the objectives, which better late than never, I guess. But I do wish he hadn't come this way with me. Plus, we've got another battleship over there. Maybe that was the one that was playing at the edge of the map. In any case, regardless of what might have happened before, the situation is pretty dire. While we are ahead on ships and we do have an advantage there, we are behind on caps and behind on points. The enemy has done an excellent job this game of controlling all the caps, whereas our team has done a pretty poor job of it. And really all the enemy has to do at this point is not die. All they need to do is disengage, and that is precisely what both the Cleveland and the enemy Massachusetts are trying to do. Notice they're pointed away at us. They are running away. That is exactly the right play. Unfortunately for them, they are still spotted, thanks to the fact that our Akatsuki is still alive. I can't say enough of how good that particular player played, or how well he played for this match. Keeping himself alive was so very valuable, especially in the dying seconds of the match. Speaking of dying seconds, there goes the Massachusetts for our 3rd kill. We know that the enemy destroyer is still somewhere near Charlie, and even though it's not ideal for a battleship to go push him, that's exactly what we're trying to do, along with the Indianapolis, who is finally headed back toward Charlie. Again, better late than never. But we're still behind by a lot of points. This Cleveland needs to go down. So, one last Hail Mary as the clock dips below 1 minute. And will the Hail Mary come through? Yes, it does. We kill the Cleveland. 4 kills. Confederate, high caliber, 156,000 damage done. And the Akatsuki is in Bravo. Meanwhile, the Indianapolis has gotten into Charlie, which means the enemy is only drawing points from 1 cap, and so are we. As long as we take one of these caps right now, we should be able to get ahead on points, and we do. by 1 single point. Now we control 2 caps, and these ticks should allow us to win, so long as nothing else happens. Even though the enemy destroyer does get into alpha, we still control 1 cap to 1 cap, and we're about to start gaining points from Charlie too. Or we would if the time hadn't ended and we hadn't won by 1 single point. Extremely close game. The closest game that I might have ever played in World of Warships Legends. And once again, it came down to cap control. Cap control is the most important thing in a domination mode game. Never forget it. I've said it many times. You've heard it many times. But that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If so, give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I haven't been asking people to subscribe at the end of my videos lately, but we are getting close to 4,000 subscribers. So if you made it to the end of this video and you aren't subscribed, consider doing so. Again, thank you so much. I will see you next time. Goodbye.